Welcome to the Note. I'm Ashley.
I'm Brian.
We've known for a while now Sony isn't exactly cool when it comes to letting you play together with your friends on other consoles.
Yeah, when it comes to crossplay, while it has been allowed in the past, Sony has not been playing nice this generation. They blocked the feature from everything from Fortnite to Rocket League, and just particularly when it comes to playing with other consoles, they're not down with it.
Yeah, other developers have subtly and sometimes not so subtly called PlayStation out when asked why they didn't allow crossplay for their games. Now, another major studio is flat out saying Sony's the reason crossplay won't be allowed in the upcoming Fallout 76.
Yeah, they said it in an interview with the German publication GameStar, and this was from Bethesda Game Studios director Todd Howard, who said that crossplay will not be available in Fallout 76. When asked why, he said, "Sony is not as helpful as everyone would like."
He added that Bethesda wanted crossplay in the upcoming game because cross-platform gaming is a big trend in the games industry.
Yeah, so that's a bummer, but needless to say, it is not the first time that a studio has blamed Sony for blocking crossplay.
Well, one of the lead directors on Ark Survival Evolved said last year they had Xbox One and PS4 crossplay working internally, but he added that currently Sony won't allow it.
Yep, and also a year ago, when Rocket League was released on the Switch, Polygon asked Psyonix executive Jeremy Dunham about crossplay possibilities, and Dunham said that Sony was vetoing this option for now.
Well, he said technically it's possible, there are no technical limitations. Right now it's just a political barrier we need to help figure out how to crack.
Yeah, those two words, political barrier, were really telling because obviously it's something that Sony is, they're the ones standing in the way of it.
Right, and Dunham also famously said it's literally something we could do with the push of a button, metaphorically. In reality, it's a web page with a checkbox on it. All we have to do is check that box and it would be up and running in less than an hour all over the world. That's all we need to do.
But yeah, obviously it didn't happen.
No. Epic actually took it a step further. They did accidentally enable crossplay on Fortnite for a hot second there before redisabling it and blaming it on a configuration issue, which really just seems to underscore how easily it could be rolled out if you can do it by accident.
Does everyone just have a crossplay button at their studio?
They're just like waiting,
yeah,
hopefully.
Exactly. Sony's reasons for blocking crossplay have changed over the years. Some of the reasonings, like not wanting to be worried about other platforms affecting PS4 user experiences, make a certain amount of sense. It's a tough business case to give up control over security measures for online play, things like that. You worry that your platform could then be more vulnerable to hackers playing on their platforms, and that reflects badly on you, so that's a little understandable.
But then some of their other excuses have been kind of toothless. Like last year in an interview with Eurogamer, Jim Ryan, head of global sales and marketing for PlayStation, said that Sony blocks crossplay to protect the kids.
Yeah, he toothlessly said, exposing what in many cases are children to external influences we have no ability to manage or look after, it's something we have to think about very carefully.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
That got a lot of people annoyed, including Xbox boss Phil Spencer, who didn't exactly like Ryan's implication that Microsoft isn't looking out for children's safety.
Yeah, following those comments, Spencer told Giant Bomb we would never put Minecraft in a place where we felt like we weren't keeping our players safe.
Well, he went on to say that the implication that crossplay doesn't keep players safe isn't healthy for anyone.
Also, has Ryan ever played a game online and listened to chat even? It's not like PS4 players are exclusively saints here.
Nope.
My mom has been called a prostitute many times on PSN chat.
Or, maybe she's just rambunctious.
She had to earn a living.
Of course, crossplay has been allowed in the past between all kinds of platforms, no matter what excuses people are making now.
Yeah, in fact, Sony basically introduced crossplay with PCs and the PlayStation 2 for Final Fantasy XI. That was an MMO that came out back in 2002. Oh, and Xbox 360 players joined the same servers a few years later. Everyone played together. I played that game. We all played together. The world didn't come to an end. It was fine.
Well, and more recently, Sony did allow PC crossplay for Final Fantasy XIV and that super kid-friendly game Street Fighter V.
Yeah, just good, clean fun. Meanwhile, no company is more kid-friendly than Nintendo, and even it allows crossplay on games like Rocket League and Minecraft. In fact, Nintendo and Microsoft recently teamed up to basically call Sony out in their crossplay trailer for Minecraft.
It's also, if PlayStation was cool with it last generation, what happened to the kids since then?
Yeah. Now they're like, screw it.
Yeah, of course, look, while Microsoft is acting very cool about it these days with crossplay, they did block crossplay functionality several years ago, back when the Xbox 360 was flying high.
Yeah, back in 2011, there was a little-known MMO shooter called Defiance that let gamers team up for co-op missions or battle each other. It was tied into a show on the Sci-Fi Network. At the time, it was developed by Tryon World.
But when asked about crossplay between the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, Tryon Global Brand Director Alex Rodberg told Kotaku that Microsoft won't let Sony players play against them. And then, he suggested changing the subject.
Yeah, and then when asked about it, a Microsoft spokesperson said no, it wasn't available, adding, "We have a high level of expectations for our game developers because we can't guarantee this level of quality or control the player experience on other consoles or gaming networks. We currently do not open our network to games that allow this crossover capability."
So, that basically like the same excuse.
Same one.
And not really a great one considering.
Yeah, so while nowadays Microsoft loves making videos about how Xbox players can play Minecraft with Switch owners and leadership for both Microsoft and Xbox has changed for the better, the reality is their hands aren't clean on this issue either.
No, probably the most likely explanation is it comes down to business stuff. Underdogs push for the crossplay while the sales leaders don't because they don't feel like they need to. And PlayStation 4 is very obviously winning a generation in terms of overall hardware sales, though they have the larger user base, and Sony clearly doesn't want to let any competitors in on their platform and access to their user base, even if it's just to play with friends who own a different system.
Yeah, in fact, from a sales perspective, it makes sense that they wouldn't want to. Oh, your friend's on PS4, you want to play with them? Guess what? You should pony up for a PS4 too then. Too bad.
Yeah, they look at it as probably more sales for them by not doing it.
Yeah.
So it's sure, short term, smart business strategy while they are in the lead, but it is also at the expense of a consumer-friendly experience, and it assumes continued market leadership. In the long view, from a business perspective, it could feel a lot more like insurance to do crossplay, especially during years when business might not be as great, that they would then continue to have no full access to the full user base of all consoles together.
Yeah, maybe Sony's waiting for some magical right time to like give in and allow it. It is the kind of goodwill you can only spend once though. Say they allow it on the PlayStation 4, everybody'd be happy, but then it becomes the norm. We'd all expect it on the PlayStation 5 because once you add a feature, it's much harder to take it away again. If you never get it, you're not really losing.
Yeah, well, it is also worth noting the Xbox One did get off to a pretty terrible start this generation after they announced a ton of anti-consumer features that really turned off a lot of people. You know, the whole, the always online thing, the 24-hour check-in or else you can't access your stuff, the huge focus of entertainment during the announcement, the concerns over lending and reselling games.
Yeah.
So there were some issues.
Yeah, it seems like a lesson that Sony should learn here. Being anti-consumer always seems to come back and bite companies in the ass. That's a lesson they should keep in mind because with other platforms hammering away on the issue, it does tend to make them look like the bad guy here who's kind of holding their users hostage.
Well, a former Sony exec also weighed in on the crossplay issue recently during the controversy over Fortnite. John Smedley, who was the head of Sony Online Entertainment, talked about the issue in a series of tweets saying that when I was at Sony, the stated reason internally for this was money. He added, they didn't like someone buying something on an Xbox and it being used on a PlayStation. Simple as that. Dumb reason, but there it is.
Yeah, he later deleted that tweet, but the internet never forgets John Smedley. We
Nope,
saved it.
never.
We gotcha. He added that the situation could change if people keep bugging Sony about it. In another tweet, he said, if we keep the pressure up, this problem goes away.
Now, back to Fallout 76 because that's the new hot topic. We'll see what happens. Sony did finally address the issue of crossplay last week when Sony Interactive Entertainment of America CEO Sean Layden told Eurogamer that they're working on a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community.
Not the most committal response.
Not really.
But it is the first time they've responded, so at least it's a start, and they're publicly acknowledging that this feature is in demand, so that's something.
It is something, and hopefully it means Sony will eventually somehow figure out some way to quit being stubborn about the issue, just give gamers what they want, look like they're doing the right thing here, and hopefully it is, like Smedley said, just a matter of time and persistence.
Yeah, what do you guys think of Bethesda calling out Sony for blocking crossplay? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your gaming and crossplay news, because that's the new hotness, make sure you like this video. If you're new around here, subscribe to the know. Epic actually took it a step further. They did accidentally enable crossplay on Fortnite for a hot second there before redisabling it and blaming on any
online play, things like that. You worry that your platform could then be more vulnerable. We would never put Microsoft in a place where we felt...
Minecraft?